I'm so good, I can recognize y'all voices in like one breath. I'm getting good. I don't even have to look like whose name lights up. In most cases, I can grab it. I always wanted to do that TV show, Name That Tune, because I truly believe that I have like that special talent. Like, but I should do like Name That Voice. Name That Voice. Our participation is great tonight. How are you doing, Mr. Anderson? If I open up the mics, I want y'all to talk. How you doing, Ms. Hayes? I know I can depend on you. And why is Chris Williams being so quiet? You know that I spend most of my time in Virginia. Does anybody else spend their live? I know like Ms. Davis, that Rita Davis. I don't know where Bridget Davis is. She'll be in here soon. But it's I think you got impacted by this colonial pipeline issue as well, didn't you? And I know Ms. White. Did. Good evening. You're so sweet saying hi to everybody.
No, JB, I still have a full tank.
You have a full tank, but you live in an area that is impacted.
Yeah.
But you're just driving by. You're driving by the gas station, like letting everybody else do it, right? I made a decision. I was like, I'm just going to stay at my desk. If I stay at my desk, you don't have to worry about running out of gas, right?
Right.
Continue to work, and then you don't have to worry about a gas shortage because also. Yes, I thought.
Exactly.
David, you're always on it. Thank you so much. Isn't it? This colonial pipeline challenge is indeed in Georgia, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I need somebody to say correct. Right. That's right. You're in Virginia, but you representing for tonight. I know Miss did she raised her hand and everything. Well, I appreciate all of you from all across the country, everything that you're doing to make AfroEconomics possible, the impact that we're making on our community by you being committed. Your financial success is unrecordable, but your success impacts everybody that you know. Our commitment to networking makes everybody's world different. The phone is open. They even matter. So economics, everybody matters. I'm gonna find you. Yeah, it was Mr. Richardson's microphone open. You look. You gonna leave your microphone open, brother? You got look. So you gotta like
Well, what's going on?
Everybody, you don't try to act like you didn't have your TV on. You did. Like he came back all clean.
Well, you heard the TV.
I hear, yeah. So when you first were, you were like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? No, it's not me."
Can you hear it now?
No. Yes. Y'all hear it? Yes, we do. We hear it. I have some serious stuff, for us to think about. And I need your interaction and I need your response. I don't know if you all have been keeping up with the market. The stock, when I say the market, I'm talking about specifically the stock market right now. Have you been seeing it?
No, I don't want to look at it.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Until I'm ready to retire.
You gotta look at it. And then you get to see the beauty of a well-diversified portfolio.
Well, that is true. I like to depend on you. When you panic, I panic.
That's right. Well, look, I definitely go out of my way to make sure that if you take the time to meet with me, I'm going to take the time to make sure that you're well diversified and that you're as close to your risk tolerance level as possible. I mean, you can definitely see the difference between someone who has a relationship with a financial advisor and someone who doesn't. When the market, if the market continues to do this, and to go down. We had a really, pretty negative day today. And a lot of that was stemmed from some of the topics that we have in our discussion, because I think that when the market goes down and it is a logical response, then we as investors need to realize that when we know the why, we don't need to be in a panic position. When you know that your portfolio, your money is invested according to your goals, you don't have to be in a panic position. But if you are in the market and you know that you're going to need that money or possibly need that money within the next year or so, stocks are not for you. I don't care how many apps send you and tell you that you can do free trades and all of this. If your emergency fund, your sustainable money is not supposed to be in the stock market. The stock market is investments. It's for investors, investing. And then emergency funds and money that you need to pay your bills are what? That's a savings. There's a difference between, saving and investing. One is for now, saving, having your emergency fund. So that's why the government had to send out those stimulus checks, because most Americans had no what?
Savings.
That's right. That's what. So they said, Lord, we've done research, and the average person doesn't have access to $1,000, even if they had to bury themselves. So we better make sure that we, get some access to some emergency funds for them. And at the same time, most of them will just go back and waste it, so it'll also help the economy. And then just go and buy something with it. Imagine if everybody that received all their stimulus money, they just saved it. That was my, when I was asked on to the Carl Nelson show, he said, what do you think people should do with this money? And I said, well, I think that it will help in developing our delayed gratification and saving mentality if everybody just took it, put it into their savings for 90 days, even in their checking, just 90 days to just see what it feels like to have some money set aside. I think it would change the entire way that you view money.
I agree. Yep.
And we would stop feeling so on edge, so stressed out all the time. That we would stop feeling that that money has to just flow right through you. That you could just calm down. I think that it would help our health. It would help how we communicate with one another. It would help how we treat. Everybody saved the money that they got for every child that they had, especially people who didn't lose their job. You know how many people got the money and their finances had not changed one bit because of the pandemic, and they still wasted it.
Yeah.
Just because we can do something doesn't mean that we have to do it. So every time that, we're encouraged, like, oh, we should, do this or buy that, and you have it, and especially when you're accustomed to not having it. When, because I've noticed that people that have money, it's much easier for them to be disciplined than people that aren't accustomed to having money. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Right.
But JB, what about if, we went through everything in 2020, what kind of lessons have we really learned? Because some folks, it's like not the same business as usual, but, well, I learned through a little bit, but I'm back to my old ways,
That exactly, that
You really didn't learn anything if you're back to your old ways.
That's true. That's true.
And it's very easy to get back to old ways, and it goes across like every aspect of our life. Like, it is so hard to create a lifestyle change. That's why I was saying the 90 days. Like if you cut out sugar for 90 days, you know, that it's much more likely that you will continue to not eat sugar. But some people get to the end of the 90 days and go, you know, like they can sit their money there or sit the, you know, anything they're trying to put off. And as soon as they get access to it, they go crazy. You know, so, you know, that is the challenge because they're constantly looking for what is the fastest way, what is the quickest way to get money. So now I see this big movement in the cybersecurity area of going after our community. I mean, they're holding like big workshops and stuff with personalities. They have like big money. I saw one the other day, the brother who started the Black Wall Street, like Hill, I think it's Hill Harper, and someone else, they're the speakers for like Black and cryptocurrency movement. Imagine if I could get someone like that to back AfroEconomics, and we talk about taking advantage of your employee benefits package and getting your 401k match.
Right now, that's right.
It would change everything for our community. The money that we are throwing away into opportunities that may or may not work out for us, but there are millions of us who have access to benefit programs that we're not taking advantage of. And
Yes.
using that same money to put into things that don't give you a guaranteed match. Don't give you any money towards your future. Don't do anything for you. This is vital that we go into attack mode where people with money try to influence us towards stuff that they know is killing our community. Like the IRS went after 50 Cent because he did a promotion about how much of this cryptocurrency he had. And they said, well, if you made all that money on cryptocurrency, where is our part? You haven't paid any money on it. And he had to pay fines because he had not put a dime of his money in it. So he had to pay fines to the IRS for lying in that Twitter ad or something. He was doing a promotion for lying in the advertisement about how much money he had made. And nobody came to us and told them, and do you know how many little people with kids to feed and things like that listen to what he said?
Wow.
These things are not regulated by the government.
That's right.
So it's hard enough to make money off things that do have to go through the Securities Exchange Commission. It's hard enough to do that and to be regulated when we have like, you know, that's why you have so very few people who market to us that actually have a securities license. The bulk of people who have a securities license focus on all people. They're not focusing on just the Black community because in many situations, we're too easily influenced by things that hurt us. When we have to focus on, as licensed people, I have to focus on things that are in your best interest. Things that are regulated, things where they can't lie to you, things where they can't just be made up, fictitious. They, you know, that everything, even this particular recording, is monitored when it comes to me. That's because of the regulation. So we need to, you know, as we go into this environment of high inflation, stock market going down, you know, and these are solid things that are regulated and monitored that are about to change. Unemployment numbers, the jobs are not going up like they want.
Or like they say.
Yes, as they say, you know, we're not, unemployment is not getting lower.
That's right.
And now they're using that as a movement to say people won't come to work. That might be what Mr. Jones is talking about.
That's right.
So there's a movement to move away from providing unemployment because they're saying the reason that people don't have jobs is because you're paying them unemployment. How sad is that? That's not the reason. The reason that people don't have jobs is because the jobs aren't available.
Larry Hogan just announced today he had a press conference. He said, you have to show that you have been looking for a job. What makes you think people are not looking for a job?
Exactly. Exactly.
But that's the way it's always has been. I know in South Carolina, it's always been like that. You have to go out and show that you're working. You're actively looking for a job.
Yeah.
But during the COVID-19, they said because of the pandemic, people, you know what I mean, they can't force people to actively look for a job. So they have to reduce the guidelines for coronavirus, but you cannot force people to go out there, you know what I mean, and work
during a pandemic. That's right.
Exactly.
Amen.
Not if they lost their job because of the pandemic.
Amen.
But they also said that some people were earning more on unemployment than they were when they were working hard.
That's right.
So why would I go out there and want one of your $2 an hour jobs if I can get, you know what I mean, more than that at unemployment?
Exactly.
So if you want to change the economy, then you need to make sure you keep your word, Mr. President, about increasing that minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
Today. You increase that federal minimum wage requirement today, not 3 or 4 years from now. Today.
To $20, not 15 though, to 25, $25.
And it could be regional because it costs more to live where you live in Washington, D.C. than it costs in some other areas.
And the cost of living goes up every day.
Yes. Because inflation is the major reason why the market is down.
You played that long time ago.
The price of things, do you think that these gas prices that are coming up, especially for people in the South now, that doesn't impact inflation? Yes. You have people that are out of work and look, and unemployment, it's not like it's a great wage.
And JB, how funny is it that now it's going to be a gas shortage, like right after the sale of SUVs went right back up?
That's right. And then I don't see any reports from that company saying that this happened to them by some other country.
Right.
This could be done by someone that actually is in our country, a competitor. It could be done by somebody that makes electric cars. It could be done, you know, someone that wants to create an alternative fuel source. It could be, you know, it could be that actually. And how about on our, Mr. Jones, in our business session, we just did a discussion on ransomware.
Yes, we did.
This totally brought it home for us. That's what
and we discussed those two different markets within that. Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
This is our Friday, y'all. This is our Friday business session. We just were talking about the importance of cybersecurity, and the number one risk for businesses is a cybersecurity act. Well, that was for 2019. It said a cybersecurity attack was the number one concern. For 2020, it's number 2.
That's right.
For 2021, because of 2020, is because of a pandemic.
Pandemic, right? That's right. That took precedence.
Remember that?
Yes, I do.
So, but it's still look at the cybersecurity increase because of the pandemic. Like this, let's just imagine that the Colonial Pipeline that had the cybersecurity hack, this Colonial Pipeline company that brings the gas to our southern states. So imagine that now the person who used to sit at that desk now works from home. And because of them working from home, the network was exposed to the additional risk.
Wow.
That is how the pandemic has increased the risk level for businesses. And a big part for us as investors is they need, like those the regulators make me have a cybersecurity program. So I spend a lot of money on cybersecurity training, cybersecurity program, cybersecurity protection. And most companies now have to spend a lot of money too, including cybersecurity insurance for, so there is a lot like but the government has said, Ms. Sumter was saying that the government has said that we are not supposed to pay off ransom.
That's like we don't negotiate with terrorists type thing.
So that's why they have not told us how this was cleared up.
Boom.
Have you all noticed that?
JB, I don't think we will ever know. Or we'll know years later, that type thing.
Exactly. So true. I know. But we need how much corporate America could be helped by the exchanging of that type of information. How much this could help. And then we have one member today we were discussing this, and his point was, how many IT professionals does it take in order to protect your company? Because this is ridiculous. You have all these people making all this money that are supposed to be protecting corporations, and they're getting attacked left and right by hackers.
That's an excellent question.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Like, it's not okay. It's not okay for this to be happening. We are at risk as investors, as citizens. So this is, I believe that it's going to become, it should be a huge part of the voting and the
my bad.
On making sure that investors making sure that corporate America has a form of protection for us, in addition to like the social media and the exposure that we have in our information that we're sharing with these different websites like Facebook and Twitter, things like that. Like, they've been paying a lot of money to the government for ways that they violated our privacy that we have not been compensated for at all.
The sad part about that, JB, is like we unknowingly agreed to that.
Yeah,
because nobody's gonna read all the fine print. Nobody's gonna do that. I tried it. It's not a fun issue. It's tedious. All of that. No, and you can't understand all the language. And
that's right.
Not to understand the language.
That's right. You're right. And if you're getting a settlement for what you've done to the consumer, don't you think that even if it's 10 cents per person, the 10 cents per person should be applied?
Hell yeah.
It's so much is being collected for damage and violations that have been done to us that we really get no feedback for. Like I was saying about the patent protection that the pharmaceutical companies get for the vaccine, but yet they will not share the patent with the actual information because of patent. They will not share it with other countries. So if you believe in the vaccine, you're just going to allow these people to die while you go through a discussion? And that's what's happening.
Wow, that's deep.
We paid for that vaccine. Our government gave Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson billions of dollars. Billions.
R&D, research and development.
Billions.
I was just looking at something on, it was a special.
And then the president said, I believe that this should be shared. And they said, oh, the president, this is their response from the pharmaceutical companies. Well, the president misunderstood.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
He misunderstood what he was saying. Because it ain't going to happen. Basically, that's what they said back.
Wow.
And it has not happened.
It's not going to happen.
It ain't gonna happen.
That's really sad. And we all should write our congresspeople about America should release their patents. I put it on my Facebook page. Y'all can look for it and copy and paste it onto yours. But we all should continue to push the president to tell them to release the patents because they're ours anyway. That's not theirs. They've benefited enough. They've made millions of dollars off our investment in their company.
Oh, yeah.
Henrietta Lacks. Henrietta Lacks.
Yes, and we're allowing it. You know, so
This is business as usual. This is nothing new. This is what they've been doing the whole time.
right.
So they're gonna say, why y'all gonna jump and say something now?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And there's so much stuff that I believe that most of us have never really had a time to think about. I think that it's time for us to not slow down, but like we have a member called Andrew Bozeman, and I don't know if you all have been able to meet him, but he lost his son last week. And
It's so sad.
and it is. And Andrew, like before his son passed away, he did a video called, doing nothing, doing something by doing nothing.
Wow.
And it was basically saying that we can do so much more if we start thinking more about what we're doing. Just taking time, just resting, just relaxing. And I was like, he has a YouTube channel called Arise, but it's so much value in us. Like that's us right here. Like there's so much value in our group. Like, and we don't spend enough time just listening to the resources and the information and the thoughts that we have. I still have been asking, someone asked about Reverend Bozeman's Cash App. Ms. Galloway was asked, and I was saying on Friday I was going to try to get it. He still hasn't given it to me. He might be like, I don't do no Cash App. Y'all know that that's kind of like a generation thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Leave him alone.
He's looking for his address.
That's like we had a business event for Michael's business, and we were going in. I said, you need to take a square. So I went to the square and I had the whole swipe one, and they came out with a new one. And then I was all excited. I ordered it. So I was there and I had my square, and everybody walked up and said, do you take Cash App? Do you take Cash App? I was like, wow. And then it was like a couple people with actual cash, but it was overwhelmingly, so it's definitely an age group thing. It's like mostly young people or people like 40 and below, that were just like, and then if you get into 30 and below, it's definitely Cash App. And then I lost the thing. So the last time we did something, I said, if somebody actually had a credit card and I didn't have the new thing that I bought, I don't know where we put it. So, because Square has this, like you can even tap it and all this stuff. So, and it's like somewhere into the universe now. I have to get another one. But someone asked for it. So I looked at the young man and I said, I can send you an invoice. It's like, what is that? He was, like, what is it? I was like, I promise you it works. So I actually, like, you going through all that time, you can tell. And then Michael was like, he was very patient. I was like, but who carries a card? Like, then now I'm like, he should have Cash App. But he got it and he paid it. But I know he was like, wow, I didn't know that was possible, But I had to do an invoice, but that was funny. So we're gonna figure out another way to give so that we have something for every generation. But I'm gonna get a PayPal or something. We're gonna get a way to give a gift to Mr. Bozeman.
JB, I went to his site. I was looking for an address, something that I could maybe mail, but I didn't know that his son had passed, because last week you were saying that did you say he had a heart attack or?
His son.
Yeah, his son had a heart attack, and I didn't know he passed that quickly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's something. Tomorrow.
How old was his son?
He was in his 50s.
Okay.
That's so young.
Yeah. Yes. But it makes us know that, tomorrow, of course, is not promised.
Right.
We should maximize every opportunity that we have in order to get the most quality out of life.
If for nothing else, make sure you tell somebody you love them and mean it.
Amen. I'm glad you added the last part.
Don't say it, show me. Show me you love me. Don't tell me.
That's right. That's right.
Amen.
All that, because you never know when you're gonna see him again.
That's funny.
Y'all are so good. Y'all so mushy. Y'all hear that? He said, "Do it." Exactly. So what? There was a question about many questions. So let's look at inflation again. Let's just think about like what causes inflation. You know, inflation is an increase in prices, and they basically create the consumer price index, and they call that inflation. And the consumer price index is made up of all the stuff that we buy. They put it all together, and if the average price of that is going up, then we have an increase in inflation. The prices of things are going up. So they expected it to not go up as much as it went up. You know, so it was like it went up like that. A report has that the consumer price index for April, for last month, compared to a year earlier, was the sharpest, the price increase, the inflation increase was the sharpest ever since September of 2008. Like, remember, I've said several times about how much food costs now. And I really didn't notice it when like you go into the grocery store. But because I order stuff so much now off the, I'm not going to give anybody a commercial, but by ordering groceries, then then you're actually, I'm seeing, I'm ordering to that, I feel that it definitely has an advantage because when you go into a store, you buy a lot more stuff than what you just need.
And JB, on top of that, a lot of items that we used to buy, like there was maybe a 1.5 ounce bag of potato chips for $2 or whatever. Now instead of 1.5, it's just 1 ounce, and then and then the price is $2.50. So the juice jars, stuff like that is shrinking.
Yes. Exactly. You're so right. Like it's hidden inflation because like you'll buy your vitamin C, right? And then the vitamin C will have like a much lower ounces, in that jar that you usually will get. And it's the same one. Like you're saying, very good point. That they're slipping an increase in there on you. So, it's like, okay, it's still $13. It's the same $13. No, it's not. It's the package is smaller now.
Right.
Same $13, but you're getting less, you're getting fewer of the vitamin.
Right.
And that's I've seen a big, increase in that area in your health support things, your vitamins and things like that. Like that's a, big contributor. But also last year, this time, the economy was so bad off that, of course, when you compare this year to last year, it looks huge, that prices are up so much. But, like last year, they were actually beating down companies if they were charging people too much. Remember, they were like, if you tried to, it was, I forget the term, but it's like you're exploiting the customer.
Price gouging.
That's right. Like with the gas thing now. So
that's going to happen. That's right.
So if we compare last April to this April, they don't care if you price gouge now. It just depends on, what the thing is. So
what you're gouging.
Yeah. You can gouge, you know what I'm saying? You can gouge, and as Ms. Davis said, they found more creative ways of how to do it. So they can make the package smaller. Yes, exactly, Ms. James, that we're spending more and getting less. I know. Casey James is saying crab legs have increased tremendously. It's true. I bought tuna the other week, and the tuna was like $25 a pound.
What?
$25, a tank of gas and tuna, And look, and then you give me the
Take a guess.
with a pound of tuna.
Wow.
True. That is so true. That is sick. Like it's. I mean, and to think of you're using food. Now they're trying to say there's a chicken shortage. Now
Chicken wings, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't. How do we prove that that's not? You know that's really valid.
It's funny how it's a chicken shortage because here in South Carolina, I live right out of Charlotte. And when the pandemic started, they were giving people chicken, the 40-pound boxes of chicken.
Wow.
They was giving them away. There was lines of people taking that chicken. So all of a sudden now, there's a
Now, it's a shortage.
A year later, for what reason? What? But the, it's like you said, price gouging they can take a different approach. They can figure out what it's sad. Well, what we have to do is be careful of is that in our community, we need to try to encourage each other to save as much as we can.
Amen. Amen.
Because remember, as it said that when the world gets a cold, our community gets pneumonia. Anything like this, a higher and increasing inflation is going to impact us a great deal. And the benefit, the reason that COVID has been okay for us, but when it changes, it's going to change really quick. And there's not going to be any empathy, unfortunately, for those who are going to have to lose their homes. They're starting to evict people already.
Because that thing is running out.
Yep.
I said that thing.
You know what I mean? The empathy is disappearing. And you start seeing them in Congress. Like, we need our people to wake up about that. That is running out. They're bringing out the vaccine. They're going to use the vaccine as everybody get the vaccine. So then now everybody is fine and you just go back. Just go do what you got to do. And then it's like, but my job is not there. A whole bunch of jobs are being discontinued every day, replaced with government finance loans that allow them to buy the most advanced computer systems they ever had while you're sitting at home working. It's going to replace a lot of people. I mean, I see it already that they've become, they've gotten comfortable with your lack of presence. And it's very easy to let people go when you don't have to see them. Yeah. Also contributing, to the increase in inflation, you talk about food. We also see fuel. We see energy prices going up. We have, so used cars. Y'all notice that? Used cars gone up, but don't even. Don't skip the big one. Housing prices.
Remember last year, though, JV, when like here in the District of Columbia, they would run this commercial: buy one car, get one free.
Oh wow! Wow!
That's how bad it got. And I don't see that commercial no more.
You don't have to put that down. And then I've heard several people that are building houses say that the builder has said that the lumber prices have gone up.
Yeah.
And
all the material prices go up all of a sudden.
Exactly. Lumber prices up 124%.
Wow.
That's that inflation, huh?
Outrageous.
Yeah. That's it. And then, so if you go and you buy your overpriced house, you have to realize it's going to take you a long time just to break even.
Just to break it. Wow.
If you buy something for more than what it's worth and you use your extra money from the house you sell to buy something that's more, they're blatantly telling you, you can't finance this part of the house because you're paying too much for it. And people are doing it anyway. We need to be careful, like really think of it like as an investment. Would you really, if I said this particular stock costs this much, but you gotta pay.
I take that back to the housing crisis, JB, because everybody got mad at the banking industry. But if you make 20,000 and your house is worth 21,000, you can't afford it. You're going in the hole.
Amen. But a lot of that housing crisis was brought on by us buying things that we really couldn't afford.
Yeah.
And what they would do, Mr. Jones, is allow a person to purchase a home with interest only. So they said you only have to pay interest only for the first 2 years.
Okay.
After that, your payment is going to go up. And they never asked, how much will my payment be after that? So this, what happened was, they said, well, look at how housing prices are going up. All you got to do is pay interest for 2 years. Then you can refinance because it's going to be worth more. So they get to the 2 years, they want to refinance. And guess what the housing market did? Went down. So they could not refinance and they could not afford the payment. So they lost the house. They lost their deposit. They lost their payments.
I do blame the industry for that, because they knew that part was going to happen.
No, they didn't. You can't. I understand what you're saying, because they know the chance of it happening.
They put a market on it. Yeah,
the chance of it happening, and you as the buyer, you know the chance of it happening.
So
you can't guarantee that the value of your house is going up. They were just saying, look at how they're doing now. And then you get all excited about it too. I mean, I see people do it all the time. People are buying things right now that have zero historical evidence that they are doing anything. People buy investments in companies that have zero earnings, negative earnings. No earnings. They just buy it because it's cheap. Oh, that's $5 a share. Yeah, I want that. That's $2. That's 10. And they go, I'll buy a penny stock. But would you really just go? You're talking about you would do that, but you wouldn't even invest in your own business. You won't even do that, but you're going to invest in somebody else that's losing. I mean, I can see that you're going to invest in something. Invest in yourself before you invest in something you know is not working. And that's what's happening way too often. There's no evidence of that. If you can look up like some of the definitions of some of the, like just use an example of cryptocurrency, and it'll say that the person who started this, they go by this name, but we really don't know who they are. And they don't have an office, and we don't know what it is. So it doesn't work out for them. It's nobody's fault. Because you knew going into it what you were doing.
JB.
The
cryptocurrency, why do you think it's so attractive to people? Because of the unknown? I'm trying, because it's, and I understand what you're saying. I agree with you 100%. But it's like everybody is gravitating to that, and they make it like it's the latest thing, and if you don't get on board, you the fool. And Elon Musk, he was on Saturday Night Live, and he said something about one of those cryptocurrencies or something, and it tanked a little bit. So I'm kind of confused.
And then it is really spooky that we're doing that, and I'm confused about it too. I don't get it. I think that a lot of it is they think that they're investing in something and it's some sort of secret, but yet everybody has to report when they purchase it through the same place, the same system, like Coinbase. Like you have to go through there to purchase it. So the Internal Revenue Service knows everyone who purchases it. So, and some people think, oh, well, this gives me more privacy. How does something give you more privacy than cash? Cash has associated.
Well, that's true.
They literally think that it gives them more privacy than cash.
Okay, JB, let me ask you this in relationship to cryptocurrency. So I am hearing that like JP Morgan, maybe Wells Fargo, I'm not real sure about them, but JP Morgan, some of the financial institutions, the banking financial institutions are involving themselves in cryptocurrency as well. Why are they doing that?
Well, if they are, it would be illegal.
But they are though, JB, because we had a seminar, and what my understanding is that these banks, all of the
We have a seminar. What are you referring to? Who are you referring to?
oh, this is Apple. We were at a seminar where it was some lawyers who, one particular one who's really pushing the Bitcoin technology and all of that good stuff. So basically, I say good stuff, but I it's just to me.
So there was a lawyer at your firm
Yes.
that was encouraging cryptocurrency.
Not encouraging, but just giving a seminar and trying to explain it because people wanted to understand what it was. And to Ms. Davis' point about why would the banks buy it?
But financial institutions that are regulated by the government cannot have cryptocurrency.
Not crypto, they have their own Bitcoin.
No, they cannot have Bitcoin. They can try to create a currency, like they can try to create a cyber currency to try to, because there's 2,000 different types of currency, the currencies out there.
Okay.
Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is like a brand name for that specific one.
Okay.
But that JP Morgan, all currencies are not investments. But when you're regulated by the government, you have to be very careful on how you present this particular currency. So we have it's like a yen or a euro or a dollar, and then there's Bitcoin. They're not investments. They're just currency. So it's totally separate than everything that we do in the investment genre. It's not regulated. It's not, you can't trade a currency on the stock exchange. So,
and I get that. What she was saying was that these banks buy their own name, buy their own, so that no one else can get it. That's what she was explaining. She said that Bank of America, for example, has their own Bitcoin, and they have
their own cyber currency.
Yes. And she said they do that so that no other investors can come in, I guess, and buy more than they have. That was my understanding of it.
They're just trying to create something to compete in that market.
Right. That's right.
Investment, if they're doing that. They're doing that. You know what I mean? The investor has to realize that it'll have nothing to do with FDIC, nothing to do with securities, and it might just be, some marketing move that they're trying to do to create something. But
and that's correct. That's how I understood it.
But they're not, but it cannot. It is not considered an investment, and they cannot try to sell it to anyone else.
That's right.
So that would be considered totally different than what Ms. Davis was saying, is that these licensed companies are trying to get into it. They are just trying to create a digital currency maybe for themselves, which would change everything for those other currencies. If they do get into a situation where it's someone that does that type of merchandising could maybe do business on that level. Because the thing about these other ones is they have to get people to accept it as a form of currency before it has any value. So the government of the United States has confiscated so much of the actual Bitcoin that they want it to stay hot until they can sell their position.
Right.
And when they go into the market and try to get their position out, every time it tanks. So Congress it has to be an act of Congress for them to try to sell off all of the Bitcoins that they take from the criminals, because it became very popular because of criminal activity. And that's when they said, wait a minute, we're gonna have to set up this entity that regulates everybody that's using it.
Okay.
And then now, if you buy it and sell it, you have to still pay capital gains, on your use of the currency. So you know what I mean? That's interesting. Now, a lot of people, and when you go in to do your tax returns now, the first thing they ask is, do you have any cyber currency? Do you have, so you're going in, and the first thing that you're looking at, I find is interesting in a way. It seems like it kind of makes a person feel like, maybe I should. But then we have to realize, with the government participating so much in that it could be to their incentive to make people get more. Especially of that particular one, because they have such a huge position in it. They can pay off a lot of their debts if they can get people to keep doing it, to just keeping it up. They could, it can pay off a lot.
So that makes sense.
They also have been considering, with the Social Security, and then hopefully at some point they'll do it, that they've been thinking about, Social Security does not participate in the stock market. So that's why Social Security struggles to actually keep pace. So they're considering taking part of the Social Security trust and put it into the stock market. And I think that would help a lot. But isn't that interesting that on that level, we never really hear discussions about that? All we hear is that Social Security is running out.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? How many times do we ever think about, well, the reason it's running out is because y'all not managing it well. They have a lot of money to manage. And I'm like, how could you be doing that all them years and you didn't think maybe we should be in the stock market? That's scary. That would be amazing for us to participate. So those are some, let me make sure that I do some key things. I'm glad y'all had some great points on. Thank you. So we talked about inflation, we talked about unemployment, that in April, 266,000 jobs were added, but that's disappointing. That's not enough. We need more people to be able to get back to work, like you said, at good jobs. So, we'll continue to look at that because of the unemployment being not going down as fast as we want. And then because of the cost of things going up, that's why we're seeing that weakness in the stock market. The Dow down, the S&P was down, the NASDAQ was down, all the industries were down today. So, but what we have to be focused on that doesn't, mean anything. That just means that it's a great buying opportunity for the long-term investor. That's it. And but I want to just briefly talk about like bonds and realizing that, we have the stock market, but we also have a bond market. And bonds are when you're loaning money to a corporation or to the government. We have government bonds and we have corporate bonds. And bonds are a major way for businesses to accumulate money to grow their business. So they might issue bonds so that they can get money from outside investors. Usually it's like pension funds and mutual funds that are buying up, the bonds from the corporation. But bonds, we don't really think about a lot, or I don't talk about them enough, but I'll continue. And in many situations, if you're looking at a list, it might describe bonds as fixed income, the fixed income area versus the equity area. So the fixed income, meaning they promise you how much they're going to pay you. And then, so they, but of course, historically, bonds are giving you a lower return than the stock market over, say, if we looked at it over the last 50 years versus the S&P 500 versus the average corporate or even the average government bond, especially. And the government bonds pay out lower interest than corporate bonds. Why?
Because there's no risk.
And you know there is risk, right? I know y'all people that work for the federal government, there's a lot of risk there. but really, there's a much lower risk because the government is going to get its money. It's going to get its money.
Mm-hmm.
It's guaranteed.
You gotta pay taxes. Where a corporation, a corporate bond has to pay you more than the government because you're taking on that additional risk. And then some businesses are more risky than others. Like, so bonds actually have ratings. Like, a government, or what's there one time, are like government bonds, our US government bonds received a lower rating. Like, instead of an A+, it was like an A- from one of the rating companies. And it was like a huge news story. Like, and I'm thinking to myself, what type of rating company would do that?
Scare them to death.
They got a lot of nerve, but then after that they were like out of business 1 month later. No, but a corporate, especially a small business, would maybe have like a B rating or even a C. And I remember early in my career, I met this older Black couple that had purchased some bonds because the interest rate, the broker was telling them how high the interest rate was, but it was based on, they had a whole bunch of, they were putting it together. It was like, it's called a securitized bond issue because they're based on assets. Like there's bonds that are made up of residential mortgages or, and it can be like, in credit card loans, auto loans. So this one was an auto loan that they had. And this bond was all based on auto loans and people's ability to pay it back. And it was high risk auto loans. Don't you ever win? And then it went bust. And it paid them a couple of interest payments, but they actually lost everything that they had in that investment.
Wow.
And I was like, I didn't even know that was possible, And that was at the, so they came to me about it because, they don't go to the Black person until something go wrong with it. So they're like, oh, we heard that you work there. And I just wanted to tell you. So then I got to get involved with it. Telling my boss that guy put them in something that she shouldn't have been in the first place, And they were like, you don't have anything to do with it. So, but I'm like, didn't you say that we have to invest according to their risk tolerance? And he was like, whatever, we can put them in whatever we want. Get out of my office, basically. But, if they allowed it and they're not going to complain about it, you know what I'm saying? It's totally, it's no. And we do that way too often. And what you'll see and what you'll notice is that we're letting things go, but things that you would not let it go if it was someone that looked like you. You're letting them slide. But then after that happens, they'll get into a situation where they might actually have to, give us an opportunity if something has nothing to do with that. And we need to stop and think, wow, how did I let that person get over on me? But then now when I'm dealing with my own, I'm being this judgmental like this. So we need to really be consistent. If you set a high standard, don't just set a high standard when you're dealing with us. Set a high standard overall in every aspect of your life. Be consistent. So bonds come in so many forms, and make sure that if you're getting into bonds, look, talk to me about it. But if you're not, and you talk to your advisor, and make sure you realize what type of bond that you're getting in and what you're doing. I hear that so often, people in things and they have no idea what they're in. If you find yourself and you're in investments, make sure that you understand everything, you know what I mean, that you're in. And then you understand what part of your portfolio is guaranteed and what part of it is actually has risk exposure. And you know what you should expect from it over the short term and what you should expect from it over the long term. Any questions before y'all leave me? I love y'all with y'all hand up. How you doing, Mr. Ross? Oh, look, Paula, I didn't even know she was in there. When you come long and late,
Hi.
you know, just,
I was on another Zoom call, so sorry.
oh, you always gotta go into, like, when was the last time she told us she was doing her homework or something, you know?
It was not tonight. No, I was on another Zoom call.
We learned a lot, didn't we, y'all? We learned a lot.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
You missed
I just want, I'm so sorry. I hope I can get a replay. Will this be available?
Nope. Only one time. No. She's her laugh, right? You definitely you can get the recording a little bit later tonight and tomorrow. That it will be on the AfroEconomics with JB Bryan YouTube channel. Be sure, y'all, please subscribe.
Oh, wonderful. I did want to say that I hope that people read. I was listening to Democracy Now! Today, and it's something called Guns and Butter is the show. And they were talking about, it's really good. And we're talking about all kinds of surveillance and what these corporations are doing, especially now during COVID. It's fascinating, even getting your DNA from your body. Like stuff is in the works now. It's really, really fascinating. But I wanted to say, I have studied on and off about cryptocurrency, and one of the things that I have heard and does concern me is its ties to terrorism. So, so I really appreciated what you said about how the Bitcoin and things were being snatched because of its ties to criminal behavior. So we just have to read and study.
Amen. And most of the ransomware and attacks now on businesses are asked to be paid in cyber currency. Isn't that something?
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah, Google it. It's amazing. But it's sad. But there, in my opinion, that's fantastic. If it benefits someone and they make money, that's great. My job is to make your life pleasant, make money for you, keep you at a place of peace, keep you at a place of comfort and prosperity, and good feelings and contribution to, all that is good. So if I can make sure that your assets grow without you stressing or worrying or what is that and things like that, I thank God for it. And, we're in an environment that there's so many other ways to make money, so good, positive ways. Why expose yourself to unnecessary risk? But it happens every day. It happens every day, but make a commitment. I challenge that we make a commitment to having the best life possible, the most pleasant life possible, and that all that we do and all that we have is used for a greater good. And it is possible very easily for you to grow and help people in very positive ways and without worrying about your money at night.
Yeah.
Let you sleep and rest and we'll be okay. And if you don't get it and you don't know who you can call and it doesn't have a corporate office, I would be very hesitant.
Exactly.
Where do I go, to take care of business if something goes wrong? You just need to know that. And that's what the regulators require that I have. I say require that I have an office that they can go to, you know what I'm saying? And it has to be publicly available to my clients. You deserve that. And make sure that you have that. Value every dime that you make. The word says, be a good guardian over few things, and he will give us many. But I know one thing, he always gives us what we need. Always gives us what we need. You
Amen.
get it every time. Y'all have a great one. I hope to see y'all Friday. Friday morning, members only. We're doing I want to do a tax attack. Just go with anybody who hasn't done their taxes yet. We got to go over last minute tax stuff, last minute tax questions, what's going on if they're due on Monday. And I'm just going to be pressing it, you know, with taxes and tax reviews all the way through the weekend. So get it done. So Friday, I'm going to go over business tax issues. It's Friday at noon. We're just going to be taxing it out. You know, one member asked me today, they said, well, my tax preparer wants to do an extension. I said, well, I can show you how to do it yourself. I mean, that is my movement. I want all of AfroEconomics, our community, to know how to do our taxes. Now, if you choose to use someone else, that's fine, but you have to know what they're doing. No more you getting these printed out things, you don't know where those numbers come from. That's empowerment. Empowerment is you knowing how to do it. And if you just do it 1 year, or you don't even do it, you show you how to do it, and then you know, but you need to know how to do your tax. All right.
All right, you got your first student right here.
That's
Okay.
right. That's right. Exactly. I know I'm gonna be learning from you, but I appreciate your humility. Be humble just like you. I'm gonna learn from you too. But I learn every day. I'm so blessed to have a job that I learn every day. Y'all just like every time. Every time. You know, but as in my efforts to help you, I learn every day.
We learn from you too, JB.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I learn from you. Thank you for going by the DC office, Mr. Jones.
I got your back, babe.
So much. Thank you so much. Don't be trying to send me an invoice, because I don't.
Hey, me. You know what's funny though? When I went to the building, the door was locked. The security guard was sitting inside the building. So he came and opened the door for me. He called upstairs. They said, let me up. I said, do you know JB?
He said, of course I do.
No, is this AfroEconomics?
That's right. He did. That's so good. Yeah, he's like, good for them.
Yeah, she said, I'll put it in her envelope. I said, that's good enough for me.
Amen. Amen. All I wanted to know, they're going to try to act like they don't know. My money back.
Okay. So, Mr. Jones, just so you know, with the Cash App, if you need to invoice JB, just go to the Cash App and request pay. You don't have to pay. You don't always have to send money. You can request to pay.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
She don't like.
Now, see, I just took a little message. That was between me and JB.
Yeah. But just to let you know, if you can request
like invoices, right?
Services, so
you know what? That guy, he didn't even have a credit card on his Cash App. All he had was his credit card. So, but you're right. That's a backup. You know, that's a backup way. Yeah, they don't know how to do it. Because I have had a girl do that to me. Just send me out of randomly. She needed money. And asked me for the money. And my husband was like, you are not going to respond to that. You are not. I mean, she didn't even ask me or not. She just sent me a request.
And see, my queen does that. I don't do. I was at a vendor. I went to a vendor. I wanted to buy me a little copper ring. He said, do you do Cash App? I said, I don't do none of that stuff, man. He said, oh, I can tell you old school. And I was offended.
You are old school, my darling.
Not Mr. Jones. He's new. He just don't like that. I know. Look, what about cat now? All you gotta do is pull out some dollars. Everybody take that.
Everything worked out. When I pulled out the cat with the stuff that fold, everything was good.
Yeah, he was like, oh, forget that. This is the best cash app. Yes, indeed. Apply it into my hand.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Technology is something else. I'm telling you.
Yes. I love y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Good night,
All
everybody.
right, JB, thank you.
See you
Love all
Friday.
of
Thank you so much.
Friday. Thank you even more. I'll see you Friday morning. Y'all be good.
All right.
Bye.